hate how short it is. I hate how short I really dislike how short that song is.
But it does
I
its
mean,
job. It does its
it
job.
it does its job, and I feel like once I hear it, I mean, like maybe like a few months, maybe years from now, if we listen to that again, it's just gonna remind us of a Thursday night
That's
in the
right.
Bay.
Yeah.
Like that's the nostalgia behind this sound that we
Yeah.
have now adopted. Um, but hey, welcome guys. How are we doing? It's another, like I said, it's another Thursday night in the Bay, and we are back for another episode of Strictly Football.
Yeah. Well, thank you,
Mm.
thank you for the intro. For me, I'll start with saying that I feel pretty good. I'm tired, but I feel pretty good. It's the weather's a little crazy over here where I'm at. It was hella cold in the morning, and then it was like an inferno in the afternoon. So that was hard. Your boy
Define
went in the sweats.
Inferno. Define
Define
Inferno.
inferno is for me. I went to my school with sweats, a
Hmm.
hoodie, a jacket, a beanie, because it was that cold. And then at 12 o'clock, I was sweating bullets. So to me, it was an inferno.
All right.
But it's like you couldn't take off the fit though, right? Like it's
I
like
mean,
you have to
I
live.
took it off. I had to take it off. I had to take it off. Are you kidding me? Nah, dude, I was fucking sweating. My kids were like, "You're sweating." I'm like, yeah, I know.
Ah man. What about you, Irving? How are you doing, man? How's life treating you since the last time I saw you yesterday?
Um. Yeah, I'm doing good. I just won $100 finally.
Nice.
After betting on Thursday Night Football, my picks went through, so I finally won $100. After I think I had lost up to that point like $40. So I'm glad I got them back and some. And then I'm gonna finally go in on Saturday some training for my college job or East Bay job. For those that don't know, we live in the Bay, and Cal State East Bay is a school here in the Bay, and I'll be working for them, mainly in their athletics department. But I finally get to go in, train a little bit before I actually go in next week. So next week is official. Yes, I'm excited. A lot is gonna happen over the next couple months. A lot of work, a lot of school work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. How are you, Jose?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I feel good. I mean, it's been definitely hot on this side of East Bay.
I'm sure.
Uh, but we're hanging in there, man. I feel like we need some heat waves because I feel like this is going to be a cold winter. So I'll take it. I'll take what we have. Um, on a different note, I will say since the last time we hung out or the last time we recorded, the new EAFC game came out, and unbeknownst to us, somebody took our name.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
And I haven't fixed it yet.
What? That's
somebody
crazy.
somebody took
What?
Yeah.
our Strictly Football name on Pro Clips.
Now,
No way,
there's an
dude.
asterisk to that, kind of. So when I was creating our club again, and for those who don't know, we play pro clubs. We stream it every now and again. Go follow us on Twitch at Strictly Football 21. You'll catch us there. But so I was doing our club, and I put Strictly Football normal, and it said it was taken. So I redo the name. I was like, I'm just not gonna put a space in between Strictly and Football. So and I submitted it. It went through. It's all good. And so later that night or the next day, I'm playing with my brother. We're trying out playing, and then also the rush mode, the new rush mode. And makes me realize that I put strict D football.
Oh my god.
So I missed the L. So maybe that's why it went through because yeah, it's not even spelled right. So I have to go back and change it.
That's crazy.
But
Yeah,
regardless, the name of our podcast, the way it's spelled,
yeah,
strictly being one word and football being the second word, is
it's
taken.
taken. Yep.
That
Mind you,
is insane.
the game just came out last Thursday, so somebody beat us to the gun. And we need to find out who this is, man.
It's one of our listeners, dude. If you're a listener and you took our name, shame on you.
Yeah.
Or if you ever watched us
Reveal
play
yourself.
and you saw how good we are, you definitely wanted to catch on that name.
I mean,
Well,
I think that's gonna be the one, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
it has to be.
It has to be.
but
Hey,
that's
we ended the last for folks that didn't tune in. I mean, we ended up with like what 10,000 in the world.
mm-hmm.
Something
Hey
like
man,
that.
It's not bad, man. There's 7 billion people in the world.
Over 10,000.
that small chunk.
What
That's
percent is that of
us.
the world? I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, I thought I'd share with you guys
That's
that one,
crazy, dude.
and
Hmm.
definitely gonna see us playing for the next couple of months. And yeah, I think we can transition into that and then figure out down the line what happened to our name and who took it. But for now, let's move on with our show. Let's move on with our Tarjeta Roja of the Week segment. This week, I'm gonna give it to Irving to take it off because I feel like he has something to say about it. And well, me and Ariel will chime in after that on how we
Yeah,
feel.
so whoa, that transition was crazy. Caught
Hey,
me out
so
of
I
nowhere.
got it to work, man. I got it to work.
Yeah,
I got it
that
to
was
work. We got a
crazy.
new platform, by the way, people. So we're
Yeah,
working it out.
we're trying something out. Yeah. So for those who don't, or for those that haven't watched our show, our Tarjeta Roja segment basically consists of giving a Tarjeta Roja or a red card to a player, a team, I don't know, a situation that we find to be that should be thrown out the game, expulsado. And so we used to do one, we used to each do one, but now we're just gonna do one unanimous one. We'll talk about it a little bit, and we'll move on. This week's tarjeta roja of the week is going to Haaland, specifically during the Arsenal game. It was a very like fiery game. Very kind of. There's a lot on the line, down, especially with how long the Premier League season is, and Arsenal and Man City being probably the two biggest contenders to the title. And Arsenal was winning 2-1. And then in the 96th minute, 98th minute, I forget who scores the goal, but then Haaland grabs the ball and throws it to Gabriel, to his head, straight to his head on purpose. And then after the game, he's talking to Arteta and he's like, "Oh, remember to stay humble. Remember to stay humble." And he's arguing with Gabriel and the other Gabriel Jesus, and it's just going back and forth. And during the game, he's actually being like really like dirty, in my opinion. So my tarjeta roja goes to him. I don't know how you guys saw his actions during the game, but I found it kind of out of line. I know it was a fiery game. I know it was a big competition here. You can call Arsenal and Man City recent rivals right now, or the part of the Big Seven. So, but I feel like his actions were kind of out of line, the way he was acting. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you guys viewed his actions.
Well, you're talking to an Arsenal fan, so I got to say that while that is overshadow, I mean, I don't know if it's overshadowing. I think one of the bigger losses out of that is for Man City's Rodrigo is probably out for the whole season. But yeah, that was interesting. I didn't expect that. But what I will say is, I, I, the tarjeta roja I think is well deserved. But it does come with a caveat, which is that I like that there is some rivalry back in the Premier League, which I feel like that
Mm.
has not been the case for a while because Man City has just been steamrolling this league for a minute. So to see my Arsenal, my Gunners in that talk, I love it because my center backs had that man locked down for
They
the whole
did.
game. Even though he scored a goal, he scored 100th goal I think in the Premier League, which is I mean he's a beast. Like, I can't deny that he's a beast. But that the fact that he got to them, they got to him so much in their head that he felt the need to say that to our manager, to my coach, to the man leading me to the promised land. I mean, a part of me loves it, and another part of me is like, come on, dude, we're better than that. And like, you know, your team's ridiculous. So what are we talking about? Humility.
Mm.
There's
Yeah.
billions of dollars behind that team.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts, Luis?
I
Anything to
feel like
say?
I mean it's a deserving tarjeta roja for sure. But I think if I mean unfortunate for the Rodrigo injury, but I think if there's anything that seeing a player like Haaland react that way, it's kind of like the same thing as like seeing like the team can bleed. Like this team is not as strong kind of thing. Like it's just like when Batman made Superman bleed. It's like nobody thought that could happen, but now it's like seeing your arguably the best forward in the Premier League right now react the way they did because he couldn't score or like because they had him on lockdown. Just shows it gives you life that this season in the Premier League might be different than it was last year. And I don't know. I feel like we've talked about Arteta and we've talked about Arsenal, and it's like, hey man, he's been at the helm for a while now. So this may, I mean, if there's anything that this should fire them up, that they went to the Etihad and they did something like I feel like it was a statement, and Haaland just gave you the bad sportsmanship that comes after feeling like impotencia because they couldn't do anything. And they barely made it through. I mean, for all like if Arsenal would have come out with the win, that would have been even bigger. So
We were very close until
Yeah,
the
it was
referee
close.
until the referee took out his blue jersey.
Till you
yeah.
remember where he was reffing.
Yeah, dude, and he's giving out a fucking red card for no reason.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, man. Sometimes you just gotta earn the tarjeta roja, and I feel like Haaland did earn it. And yeah,
I,
man.
I like that terminology that the team can bleed. I like that. I like that because it tells us that there's a weak link in the team that we can just you can just keep pushing on them and sooner or later it'll give. Because yeah, I feel like that team is interesting to me because they're always I feel like just so even keel. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't really get really too fired up about stuff. But to see this, I know for the next game, like there's gonna be just a bunch of anticipation, and it's gonna be a good game
I
because of
think
this moment.
Hopefully.
that, and I feel like throughout the season, if teams really want to compete against City, I think Arsenal gave you the blueprint
Mm-hmm.
of what
Just
may
throw
give you
everybody back.
of what can potentially allow you to compete against a team like City. So,
Yeah, dude. BJ Callahan's coaching that set piece team, man.
Hmm.
man.
Set pieces are looking crazy right now.
So, anyways, I feel like it's a well deserved tarjeta roja, and we'll see, man. We'll see how the season goes along. But for now, hit me up with a transition.
That's so in my ears. It's crazy.
It's in my
Moving,
ears as
moving,
well.
moving on to our headline of the week. It's this head. Well, this week we're gonna focus on the first week. I feel like they call it weekday or week match of the Champions League that took place last year. I mean, not last year. I apologize. Last week on on a new format that where we saw games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday because there's a total of 48 teams now, I believe, playing this competition now. So I'll hand it over to you, Irving. Give me the your highlights of this week, and then we can discuss about this recap and the games that we got to see and what we have seen so far from teams competing at the European level.
Yeah, to me first, I think the Champions League format, uh, I'd say, or the new format, I'd say maybe it's promising. I think we're getting a good amount of good matches. We had a Liverpool and Milan play, which is I feel like something you don't see all the time. And maybe in this format you get to see more teams play against each other like that. Obviously, not every really good team played another good team. Um, but yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it plays out over the next couple weeks. But to me, I think the highlight, or not the highlight, but I think to me the thing to know is Monaco beating Barca. I think Barca have been steamrolling through the league, but to see him lose to Monaco with honestly is not. There's nothing good about, or not good, but there's nothing crazy about that team. It's definitely not the Monaco that had Mbappe a couple years ago. To see him lose, is definitely a little worrisome to me. I know a lot of people trust Hansel Flick, especially because he's been doing really well in La Liga. But I think with this format, it's definitely something to talk about. And not Barca, I mean Barca, we've talked about for a long time. They're in they're in a disaster right now. I mean they have so many injuries, can't register players, can't keep players because they want to get other players. They can't afford players. So I think it's definitely something to note as well. Um, so yeah, that's my one uh, kind of talking point. I don't know what you guys noticed as well. So we'll see.
I mean that Barca game could have gone completely different if Ter Stegen wouldn't have done that silly mistake that led to the red card. So I feel like it would have been a different story if that doesn't happen. And it's like it's the unfortunate events after that. Then like Ter Stegen actually now is injured for the whole season, so it just depletes that team even more, especially when you're playing a competition like this where like your fans are expecting maybe more than what they should, especially considering that they don't have the hardest of games to play in the Champions League. And I mean, you only have 8 games, 8 different teams, and you've already started one game with the loss. So it's going to be an interesting. I feel like it happens more often than we think, where like teams are doing good in their home leagues, but then they jump the ship or they switch the channel into like European football, and now you're playing a team that isn't so accustomed to playing, or you're not so accustomed to playing them, that if like that those 90 minutes are different than if you're playing 90 minutes in your league. And it's like we saw that. I mean, with Barcelona, I feel like we saw that in the Milan versus Liverpool game, where I feel like it was close, or like it was a close game until it wasn't, and like next thing you know, like it's 3-1 Liverpool, when like like it couldn't have been that way, or it wasn't that way at first. Um, so I feel like that's the interesting part of this one. It's also interesting that you don't, or you're not going to play the same team again, so you only get one shot to get your 3 points against that team you're playing.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that Liverpool match close. Milan got kind of dogged the whole game. Sorry,
Destroy? I mean, come on, dude.
sorry, Ariel,
Come
but
on, dude.
they had a early pen to get a 1-0 lead with Pulisic scoring goal. Great for him.
That's
But come on,
crazy. He's
man.
like, look how far down my team's gone, dude. Where Pulisic's the one fucking leading the
He's
charge.
he's the best player they have right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Uh, but yeah, I mean Liverpool kind of dogged the
Best
whole game.
informed player. But yeah, I
Yeah,
hear you.
best info player. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I think, I don't know. I may be in the minority of this, but I kind of feel like it was too many games. Like it just felt like a lot to take in, and I think like when I look at the score lines across the board, I mean, yeah, you can pinpoint like the Milan game. I think it was probably one of the better ones, but I'm looking at this Man City Inter game 0-0. Uh, that Madrid game was pretty boring until Madrid finally kicked into gear. Atalanta and Arsenal was kind of boring, 0-0. And then you have a game like Brest and Sturm Graz.
Who?
Who? You know what I'm saying? And then you have another game, and this game I think is like, I think, I think when we look back at how this thing was structured, this game to me may go down as like an indication of like where this is going, which is this Bayern Munich Genk Dynamo game, the 9-2
9-2.
beatdown. 9-2? Like why why are these two teams played against each other? And then two, like does it actually prove anything? Like does it mean anything? Like so I don't know. So I hear that you only have 8 games, but before you only had 6, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's 2 more games, and I mean, maybe I'm just old fashioned. Maybe that's what I'm coming down. But I don't know. To me, it felt like it was a lot of games to keep up with, and I think it's it's over. I mean, I don't know. Maybe to me there might be a fear of just oversaturation of football, which sounds kind of crazy, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I want to tune into a Bayern Munich game and they beat somebody 9-2. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I don't know if that's really what I want to see. Um, but I don't know. I mean, but then again, I might be in the minority of this.
Man, there's rumors out there. I mean, I might be in that crowd too. That the only reason there's a lot more games is that you can now bet on more games throughout the week, and that's why they changed the format to the way we have it now.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean
would like,
that makes sense. I mean that makes sense. I mean that makes sense to just bet more. I mean I feel like betting has become a centerpiece. You know what I'm saying? Like that's actually what I was talking to my wife about when I was in Vegas because Vegas we could bet and stuff and one of the things that stuck out to her, I was showing her something about the EPL and she's like, "What's bet something?" It was like a sponsor and it's like, "Oh, it's a betting company." And it's like
mhm.
it's all plastered everywhere. Like the betting is just plastered everywhere. So football has been kind of overtaken by betting and and then players are not allowed to bet, which sure it's a conflict of interest, but there is a lot of people betting and making money off of this, and I mean, is anyone really gonna bet for Dinamo to beat Bayern? I don't know. That just seems kind of like a silly thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like
And
at
where are these
least
teams coming from? That's also where I'm like, I'm looking at some of these
I mean
teams, I'm like,
that's a Croatian team, right? The
the Dinamo. I
Dinamo.
mean, dude,
yeah, they're
No,
Croatian.
who the hell's Bratislava?
who?
Whose breast? Whose breast? Whose breast
Okay,
Uh,
is this? whose, whose breast and whose Storm Graz? Where are they from?
I
Brest is from the League McDonald's League from the League One
no.
McDonald's League. Yeah,
It isn't. It
Is it?
is.
yeah. Brest is from the League One McDonald's.
I
Oh,
thought
okay. So I
thought
mean,
they were a
that's I
bet.
guess it's French.
Thought they were a Belgian team.
No,
That's not.
Well, look,
Well,
the problem that we don't even know who it is. I mean, it tells us a lot. But I think you're right. I think it is a League One team or
yeah, they are.
yeah.
well, it's like that Dinamo team. They were undefeated up until that Bayern game.
You were just talking about league form, and then you get fucking put with a big dog, and it's like,
Yeah,
well, I don't know where the fuck I'm about to go now.
I mean, yeah. They also got put against arguably one of the contenders to win the whole thing. So
I don't know.
yeah,
It's
there's
just
that too.
to me,
There's
it's
that
just
too.
like who's expected to win. I think is just gonna win against these teams. I don't know. I'm sure that that's the way it was before, but I don't know. There's something different about this format that just kind of like makes it como saltar more. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Hey, look, I expected Arsenal to beat Atalanta, man, and they could not get
Atalanta,
it done.
Atalanta won the Europa League though. Like they're not a bad
Uh,
team.
but come on, Arsenal
They
should be.
nah,
They're literally
most of the players.
Hey,
they got saved by David Raya, and that's another story too. David Raya's
No,
been
and
insane, but
Atalanta is a new team this season too, and most of the players that won are probably not there, or they're injured, I believe. But I mean,
still the same
the
coach though.
yeah, still the same. But I feel like those are the kind of games where like you would think, or at least in my opinion, you would think Arsenal would go in there and come away with the 3 points, but they don't because they're playing an Italian team that is going to play them completely different than an Aston Villa at Villa Park on a Sunday
Yeah,
afternoon.
for sure.
So,
I mean, but that's in Champions League in general, no? I mean, you're always gonna face teams from other leagues
but I mean that I feel like that's
that play
the
different.
That's a different
that.
style though. Italian football is different though.
But I feel
Yeah,
like
but I
at
mean,
least
in the regular format or in the old format, they still could have played Atalanta in the group stages, and
yeah, but
It could have still
at
been a
that
zero
point,
zero.
yeah,
uh, in the old style, you play Atalanta twice. You play them at home and you play them away. Here, you're only going to play that team either home or away. Like on match day two, Paris Saint-Germain is going to go to the Emirates and play Arsenal there. But Arsenal is not going to go to Parc des Princes and play PSG there. So it's like, is there more pressure on Arsenal to win that game, or or
yeah.
just PSG just going in there to tie and focus on the teams they can actually beat that we don't know about?
I don't
No.
know, man. All I know is that
That's
in that same leg, Man City plays Bratislava, and I wonder who's gonna win that game.
Bratislava, man. I'm a bet on Bratislava.
Hey, bless her soul.
Can't have it always, boys. But anyways, that's our recap. We'll probably check in next time around. And maybe it'll be match day 2, and we're talking about how Bratislava beat Man City 1-0
Yep.
at.
Comedy hour.
But anyways, I'm gonna hand it over to Irving for our actual recap of the week. I guess the past one was our headline. And again, as per our first episode of the new season, it's gonna be chronometer style with a timer. So take
So
it over.
for those who just started watching us again, or maybe started watch last season and now they see the recap of the week is very different than last season's. The recap of the week consists of some headlines that we have not talked about yet in the main headline, and I'm gonna give Ariel and my brother each 1 minute to give their opinion on whatever the headline is. And yeah, like my brother said, chronometro style, sin chronometro. So yeah, let's get it going. Our first recap of the week, probably the biggest news I'd say that came out this week, is that Varane is set to retire after an injury to his knee. So I just kind of my what do you guys feel on that? Uh, yeah, what's your opinion on that? We'll start with my brother. Yeah, you can go.
Hey man. It's an unfortunate one because I feel like he still had some gas left in the tank. But hey man, sometimes there's injuries that you just can't come back from. Like I'm just a little bit like I está el Chicharito, dude. Like my man, we might never see him again, but he's still aferrado to want to play. And at least with Varane, like he's choosing the high road. He's won it all. I don't think there's nothing else for him left to prove. I mean, it explains his move to like a small club where he just wanted to play, be home in France. So he'll go down as one of the better Real Madrid defenders that I got to see. So he's again take the high road when you have to, and again it's injuries. They're unfortunate, and sometimes you won't come back from them.
Wow, right on time. 7 seconds to go. That's what I'd like to see.
Getting better.
All right, Ariel, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, give me your opinion, man. What do you feel about this?
I mean, yeah, I think a little echoing of Jose that it's kind of sad to see him retire so young. But I do like the fact that he's just taking this. You know, I think he's listening to his body and he's making that decision. On the other end, though, I will say that my memory of Varane may not be that he's been the best center backs that I've ever seen. I feel like I rarely actually saw him play because he was so injury prone, and he haunted me in FIFA. So I think my memories will be that this guy was an 85 and still played like a 97. So and he was always good in FIFA. So that's always been. I think that's gonna be my lasting memory of him. I don't know if I'm gonna ever. I don't think I'm gonna remember him for his football, which is kind of sad because I feel like he was just so injury prone. But I don't know. I also fucking. I know he won everything, but to me, he was on the fucking stretcher for those wins.
2 seconds to go. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way uh, about that, and we'll get into that a little bit later, in another segment. All right. So next headline, another big story coming out, especially from the MLS. Carlos Vela is set to return to LAFC for the 2024 or for the rest of the 2024 season, and an option for 2025, which basically means he's going to play for 2025 because the 2024 season is coming to an end. Yeah, what do you guys feel about this? Is it a good move for Vela, for LAFC, for the MLS? Yeah, what's your opinion on the move now? Him coming back, 35 years old. And I want to start with Ariel. Go ahead, man. Take it away.
I applaud this. I applaud this by LAFC. I think we all know Vela is coming to the end of his career, and Vela, I think, will go down, and I think LAFC is doing all the right moves, and I think the MLS should just pay attention to what LAFC is doing. But you're honoring the player that made you relevant, that won you titles, that put you on the map, and they're bringing him back, and hopefully he won't go for the next year. But I hope that this is his last hoorah, and that he can, even if he doesn't play, you can at least you have him at least on the roster for that final game where you can give him that appreciation. Because Carlos Vela, to me, one of my favorite Mexican players of all time. I think he deserves it, and he changed the landscape of that team. Of I would say the MLS too, because he changed it. He may not be like worldwide, but here in the MLS, I think he deserves that respect. So I cheer it and I'm for it. I don't care if he's 35.
Eh, right on time. Hopefully that didn't cut you off. Maybe that's the wrong timer, or that's not the right sound I should
Got
have.
some Christmas timers
For
going on
real.
already.
Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah. All right, man. At least take it away.
I mean, it's crazy to think that at the start of this MLS season, there was rumors that he was going to join the Earthquakes. Unbelievable, but I feel like looking back at it, I feel like LAFC is Vela and Vela is LAFC, and I wouldn't have been able to see him, or I don't even think he himself would have been able to fit on a different team. So it just works for both parties, and it might be getting ahead, but it's also an indication that or at least from what they have been rumored, is that by next season they're going to try to lure Antoine Griezmann to come to LAFC. And who's his best friend? Carlos Vela. So the name itself might be able to still allow you to sign marquee players coming for the next season.
Nice. 7 seconds left. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's a good move for LAFC. I mean, whether he plays in 2025 or not is up to him at the end of the day. I mean, they don't need him. They're first in the in the league. They're the best team in the league. They just signed Giroud. They have Dennis Buanga. I mean, they're a great team. So I don't think they need him, but it's definitely great to see them bring back the guy that started off for them. Really. So yeah. Our next headline is staying in the MLS in the Campeones Cup. For those who didn't know, the MLS champions played Liga MX champions. So Columbus Crew played America, and it went all the way to penalties. And the last penalty taken by Columbus Crew, there is Malagon stepped off the line. The penalty should have been retaken, but it wasn't. They ignored it, and America came out as champions. What are your opinions on this? I mean, if you have any opinions, should the MLS and Liga MX do something about this refing? Yeah, let me know. And we'll start off with the America man himself,
Captain America.
Captain
I mean,
America. Captain America.
is I didn't see him step off the line, if you're asking me. Um, and if anything, it didn't even stop the penalty. The penalty hit the crossbar. So it's not like him stepping off the line would have made the difference. It's not like the kicker saw him and was like, "Ah, dude, he's stepping off the line. I'm gonna miss it on purpose so that I get another chance to take it, and then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna make it because I'm gonna go to the other side." No, man, it's football, and the best team won. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. Refs make mistakes sometimes too, man. I don't condone them, man. They're human beings just like us. So I'm okay with the decisions taken, and you know what? Maybe in the next round or in the next Leagues Cup, we can figure out if we need to review the penalty shootouts more carefully. But for now,
Another one added to the trophy case.
another one, just like the fifth trophy in the past 2 years. But who's counting?
Irrelevant trophy, really, but
Nice. See, that's what y'all hate on him, man. Y'all hate on him.
this one at least. This one. This one. All right, Ariel. What do you have to say?
I didn't see it, so I can't say like, oh yeah, but just from the outside looking in, I mean, if he hits the crossbar and we're talking about retaking the penalty because the man stepped off the line, I mean, that just seems kind of silly. And like, it's also like a reality check for the MLS teams of like, yeah, dude, shit's not gonna be fair. Like in the real football world, it's just not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been plenty of stuff that has gone down that has changed courses for Champions Leagues, for World Cups, and you can't like this is a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you have to win in a controversial way. My thing is like, why does when America wins, there's always like some sort of controversy? So that's my always takeaway. It's like either people are just hating or there's genuine like concern of like controversy and having them win. So that to me is what sticks out to me. Every time they win, there's always something about like, oh, no era penal, or blah blah blah.
Time's up. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a super big opinion. I mean, it's an irrelevant cup. No one really cares. No one watched it. Happening midweek. Uh, but I do think the claim that there's always something to say after America wins something is not crazy, but like I feel like okay, this time like yeah, he stepped off the line. It's not like it didn't happen. Last time when they beat Cruz Azul in the final, same thing. Was it a penalty? Some of us said it wasn't a penalty. Some of us said it was a penalty, and that's just the controversy that happens sometimes, you know. So that's just my opinion. You know, that's what I think. Then again, you can tell the biases of every single one of us here. You can tell the neutral one who goes for America and who does not like America. So. All right, and our final segment, our final talk here, our point. Maybe this one's just for me, but Everton is going to be hopefully taken over by the Roma owner. I had his name up right here. His name is Dan Friedkin. He owns Roma. He partnerships with Saudi money, so Everton's finally going to be getting Saudi money. Um, yeah, do you guys? Is there hope for Everton with this, with their new stadium? They get more money in, and just to give a little bit of context, they've played 5 games already, and they've only had 1 point so far. That's pretty bad right now. So is there hope? Is there hope for Everton here? One of the biggest clubs in England. Yeah. Ariel, start us off. What do you think?
Is there hope? Yeah, I mean, there's always hope with money behind you. I think that now that we're seeing that the money plays a big role in it, I think they're good for them that they're able to get some backing. The question for me, that the interesting question is whether that's enough for this season. And I don't know. I have a feeling they're gonna get relegated this season, and maybe that's for the better though, because then they're kind of in. They get a new stadium. They're in the championship. Nobody's looking at them. Nobody's seeing them. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's watching the Champions League. I mean the championship. So
Championship.
it's a good place to rebuild. You know what I'm saying? It's a good place to rebuild. Come out champions. Go up again. You have a little bit of money blah 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 blah. You might become a mid-table team. I don't think you're gonna be with the big boys anytime soon, but you know, hey, good for them. They got some money now. I can't hate on that.
Damn, 1 second to spare. Luis, what do you think? Someone that's been at Goodison Park.
I mean, I feel like they
Consistently.
have to. I mean, I don't think this money comes in this year, so they have to figure out a way to stay in the division this season because it would be a shame to start your new stadium playing in the championship when you've invested time and money
And
uh
points. And points.
and points or but it's like that'd be a shame. So they got to figure out what to do this season so that when the new money comes in, they're playing where their sponsorships and where people are actually watching these games and betting on so that you have enough money to sign marquee players or sign players or not have to re-sign a 36-year-old Ashley Young because that's all you can afford. And then that's coming from somebody that's started following Everton this season and not proud to say that because they have been
It's
buns,
okay, bro.
but they, I mean, it's good, but figure out what you're going to do this
Your
season in
time is
order.
up. I don't know why it went out. I don't know why it went
Well,
out. Your
just
time is
figure
up.
out, Everton, if you're listening to me, figure out how to stay in the division this season so that the money comes in the right division.
Yeah, I mean,
But
my opinion on this, I mean, look, if for some reason, some way, the people that we met at that bar after the game watch this, there's hope, guys. It's coming. Just wait. This season, though, it's looking really, really bad. Like, the last 2 seasons, Everton's been in relegation battles, and this one's the worst. Like, it's really bad. They've been up 2-0 now in back-to-back games, and they've lost 3-2 in the last minute. And it's very disappointing to see this team. I mean, look, I'm going to keep on saying it's one of the biggest teams in England just for history rights, at least. Obviously, they haven't won a crazy amount of stuff, but it's one of the oldest teams in England. Um, so it's definitely a shame when they do go down. The team that's never got down, until maybe this season. So yeah, I mean, I think we've seen it with, I mean, Newcastle. There's Newcastle. There's Nottingham Forest. I mean, Man City. Money's always a good thing, especially in the sport. I mean, that's how the sport has transitioned now. So, I mean, hopefully it's a good thing. Hopefully we're able to sign players, that are not. I don't want to say randoms, but yeah, we're re-signing Ashley Young. We're signing Broja, Bournemouth striker. We're signing in Dai, who's been pretty good, but I mean, it's not the star signing you want. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully there's hope. This season, though, it's looking really bad. And that concludes our recap of the week.
You spoke with the shirt on because you went past your time, dog. Just
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to say anything.
Sorry.
I want to let
Hey,
you. I want to let you let it
hey,
out. I felt
I
like you
didn't get to
needed
say
it.
anything in the other ones. I had to say something about this one.
No, it just felt like more so you needed to say something on this one. You needed a vent out,
Yeah, this team
but
sucks.
it's okay. We'll let it slide.
Yeah, they suck.
Uh, but anyways, that does conclude our recap of the week. We'll
Let us
keep
know what
moving
you
along.
think. Let us know what you
Yeah.
think about these headlines, and what headlines do you have that we didn't talk about. Now they can comment and like. So yeah, let us know.
All right. We are now in the stage where we play our game of the week. And this week's game is
It sounds like a song, like an
Yeah,
actual song.
it's our game song.
Oh, okay.
it's like I like the impromptu sound introductions because
Yeah, I'm just like, what?
I'm not expecting anything and I just get surprised every time.
That's what we do
So
here on this podcast.
I appreciate that. But yeah, all right, Irving, I'm gonna hand it over to you. Give us our game of the week.
All right, we're returning with a fan favorite, TikTok favorite, Instagram favorite. Man, this gets the people talking. We are playing, what is it called? Icon, Hero, or Nothing. So, for those who are just tuning in this season and you don't understand the concept, basically, I'm going to show Ariel and my brother a player, and they have to basically tell me, are they an icon, hero, or nothing. Obviously, this game is based off, FIFA, but we're using real life scenarios here. Are they really going to be an icon? Are they really going to be a hero? What are they to us? All right. So our first guy. Oh,
Oh fuck,
oh, oh,
fuck, dude.
oh,
Hey,
oh,
you,
my bad.
man, dog,
How'd I get?
that's crazy.
I mean, come on. We don't. We know. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. If you
Get
know, you
this
know.
Can we tell the
bum.
people that that are just listening who just popped up on our screen?
I mean, they know. They know. Come on. Oh, the people that are listening.
The people that are
Right.
listening, because they
Oh, my
can't see.
bad. Yeah,
So
they can't see. My
a
bad.
player just appeared on our screen,
Yeah,
and
and he's arguably one of Mexico's best strikers. Uh, he should have started for La Copa America. It's Guillermo Martinez, aka El Memote. I mean, but we know he's an icon. We don't gotta keep going this. Come on, man. We know he's a Mexican icon.
is this a real person on this game?
It's a real person, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay,
Is this a parody game?
yeah, is this a joke
No, I
or
mean, but we already know he's an icon, though. We already know he's a Mexican icon. Like, we don't gotta.
For who?
We can move on. We can move
When
on.
he
we
when
can
he
definitely move on.
when he leaves Pumas, they won't even remember him.
What you talking about, bro? You don't know, bro. You
He's
don't know
Ni en,
about
he's
football.
obviously a nothing.
ni en
All
su
right,
casa lo van a conocer, bro.
we'll move on because the haters, they don't understand. We got Varane, the guy we just talked about. What is he gonna go down as? Uh, Luis, what do you think?
Yeah.
This one's tough.
Uh, brother.
Controversial, really.
It's like, brother, you know what? For the amount of silverware that he has, I don't, I'll disagree with that, yeah, and I'll say that I don't think he was as injury prone as people may think he was. So just because of that, and because he has a lot of silverware attached to his name, I'm gonna say he's gonna be an icon.
Wow, wow, I did not expect that. All
Hey,
right, Ariel,
nah, yeah,
teach this
icon.
man,
Why?
Ariel.
Why though?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, explain why.
The silverware, he's part of the golden era of Madrid, playing alongside Sergio Ramos. Like he wasn't as injury prone as people may. I mean, he was injured at times, but he played. Right, he was key to France's World Cup win in 2018, and I mean, I feel like he was just part of a golden generation of Madrid. And there's certain people that we may consider icon just from France alone that I think this guy's above them.
Mm.
Emmanuel Petit and Lauren Blanc to say a few, but just
So look, man. I'm gonna throw out a couple of stats to you, man. And look, this is the beauty of AI. So we're talking about the man's not injury prone. The man missed close to 90 matches for Real Madrid. About 20% of the games. He
that he
missed
ever
about 40% of the games that he played for Manchester United. So he played 70%, which is above. That's a C. Now you put that in conjunction with a ridiculous Real Madrid team that can be okay with him out. To me, cool, you have all this silverware, but again, I am still of the thought that I think he was an injury prone player and he was not missed. So to me, he's I this could be crazy, but I think he's nothing. I think he's gonna go down as he's, I can't put him in a hero because I don't think he's gonna go again. I think Real Madrid's a really hard team, a hard club to become a hero at. I really do. I think that team has so many iconic players that I don't think that you can. I mean, you can be a hero, but like I think it has to be like a Raúl type of status, where he can be also mixed with an icon. You can argue Raúl is a Real Madrid hero. I don't think you can argue that Varane is an icon nor a hero for Real Madrid, and I can't say that for Man U, and especially this last team. For France, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak too much about that because I mean, he won the World Cup, right, with them or no?
Yeah, yeah.
He
Mhm.
did, right? Um, so I mean, you could throw that, you could lump that in there. I mean, he could be a hero for France, but I don't know. To me, I think he's gonna go down as nothing. I know that the game will probably give him a card because his card was always broken, but to me, in my heart, I don't think that I don't think he's anything other than just a really good player whenever he was actually fit to play. But like I said, I feel like most of the time he was on the stretcher.
Yeah, well, if I have to give my opinion here, talking about heart, I think he's a hero to me. Now I'm gonna say there's some bias there, just because this is. I mean, this is the guy, the center back that when I you know younger, this is the center back that was there. He was there with Sergio Ramos, Marcelo Carvajal. I mean that back line was insane. He was came in very young at Real Madrid. He was starting very young at Real Madrid. He was always a great center back. I think underrated for sure. So I think he's a hero. Adding on all the silverware and everything he's won in his career. Yeah, his Man U spell was pretty bad to say the least. I mean, yeah, he wasn't playing, and when he did play, I'm pretty sure I saw him half the time. Making silly mistakes in the back line. Um, and yeah, obviously now he's retired at a pretty young age, but I think he's a hero. I think he's a hero. Now there's bias there, like I said. One being a Madrid fan, two actually watching him play. So yeah, that's my take. We all got
Uh,
different takes here.
Underrated? That's crazy.
I think he was underrated.
That's crazy. That man stayed at the top in FIFA for hella long, and I'm like, this man's always in the injury list. What are we talking about? I think his man. Look, I think Casemiro and this man have gotten exposed of just how good that Madrid team was. So I don't know. Again, I may be in the minority here, but to say he's underrated, I feel like he was massively overrated.
Wow. Hey, you might see this man pop up again in our overrated or underrated game.
It's possible. Yeah.
I mean,
All
okay,
right.
but to
Uh,
stay, sorry,
uh,
just one final thought.
all right, no, go ahead.
Hey man,
Hold
go
up.
man, go! I'm here for
Defend
it,
him, yeah,
man. I'm
defend him,
here
defend
for
him.
it,
Okay,
man.
Yeah.
to stay at the top or to be the starting center back for Madrid is not easy. And he stayed there. First of all, he benched Pepe, and
That's true.
then he stayed relevant to that position when they were buying players like Jesus Vallejo to be his replacement. And if not, they wanted Nacho to be the pair in the center backs with Sergio Ramos. But through all that, and like this guy was still the guy. Like the amount of confidence that Zidane had in him, like he reciprocated that by playing good and being a reliable defender. Like you can't beat that. Like I feel like you can't say that about that many center backs. In whether it's Madrid or whether it's in your like the team that you support, you can't say that you've had a solid center back for that long. But give him an
All right,
icon
well,
card.
you heard it. You heard it here, y'all. You heard it here. But on controversial pick. What do you guys think? Let us know. Arturito Vidal, man, that's our next guy. For those listening, what do you what do you rate him? Icon, hero, nothing.
Eh,
Whoever's ready.
you
I'm
can
ready.
go
I
ahead.
know my pick.
You can go ahead, or you guys can go. I want to hear you guys' thoughts.
You know, Ariel, you have your opinion here.
I'm about to be hella biased here. So yeah, I
Uh,
do. I
well,
do. I
I
do
think
have my
I
take
think
on
we might
this.
have similar takes, but we'll see. I'm gonna give him a hero. I think he's a hero. Nothing more than that. I don't think he's an icon. That yeah, he was a great-ish midfielder when he was in his prime. I'd say his prime was probably Inter, Bayern Munich time. Um, but he's a hero for Chile. I mean, this is one of Chile's best players to play at the moment, and he was a referente for that Chile team that won the Copa America that destroyed Mexico. And yeah, I mean, I do consider him a hero. His final kind of spells at his clubs, especially Barcelona, were horrible because he was just so injury prone at this stage. But I think he's a hero, for his country.
Okay, This may sound crazy, but I think he's an icon. He's an icon.
Ah
One of my
man,
favorite players for Chile of all time. I thought he was a dog. I'm gonna just throw out some stats because I feel like we need to throw out some stats in this day. 4 consecutive titles for Juventus, 3 Bundesliga
I forgot you
titles.
went there.
He won a La Liga. He won a Copa America with Chile. I mean, he was the guy in that Chile midfield, and he played a role in these high level clubs. He played a pivotal role. Now, whether the world would recognize him, I don't know. I mean, I think that's why the Mohawk came out, right? I think he wanted to be recognized. But
Yeah.
I mean, for a Chilean to have that trajectory, him and Alexis really paved the way and will continue to pave the way for young Chileans that want to become soccer players. I think they're both exceptional examples, and I think Vidal to me is a player that should be remembered in history. So now whether you can link him, that's different, right? because he's in Chile. But I think, yeah, that's my take.
He wasn't. He's not El Pitbull, right? That's Gary Medel.
That's Medel, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Never
And
mind.
Medel, I think, is from Uruguay,
No,
or is he
Medel
from?
is
No, is he from
Chile.
Chile?
No,
Yeah,
it
Chile.
was him and Arturo Vidal and the
in that midfield.
I
Yeah.
mean that
yep.
He
young
is a
Chile,
dog though. He
that
is a dog
Chile
though.
team when they were young, when Alexis was coming into the scene, and this guy was like a not necessarily like a nobody, but people didn't really know about him. I mean, they were fucking. That was a great team. They were fucking exciting. They were good. Fucking my boy El Mago was out there on the bench doing his thing when he would come on. It was a fun team. It was definitely a fun team to watch, and I think I think I mean he's kind of an asshole, but I think he's
Yeah.
I think he's a fucking great player.
He's still
Should be
playing.
remembered.
Still playing.
Still playing.
All right, Elise. Finish it off.
Uh, I'm not a fan of Vidal, but I can accept and I can acknowledge that he is a hero for Chilean nationals and for just anybody that inspires to have his type of antics when you play the game. Which I feel like you kind of need sometimes. Like you need
The haircut.
well, the haircut, your style of play, your attitude. Like you need bad guys in the game of football that you have to admire, and I think he is one of them. So I would give him a hero card. He is part of the Chile golden generation, that did win the back-to-back Copa Americas. So he's earned his hero card.
Yeah, he's the player. You know that they don't make him like that no more.
Hey,
They
and
don't.
we can't forget that Tony Cruz learned from this man.
That's true. They play together. Crazy. That's
Did you see that quote when he was like, "Yeah, Tony Cruz learned a lot from me."
Yeah. I mean, he's
Hey,
definitely in his
come
head a
on, this
lot. He's
man's
definitely in his head
different,
a
man.
lot.
I love this guy.
Yeah, he's definitely in his head a lot. And he would just I just saw a story about him right now too. So he plays for Colo Colo, where he started in Chile, and they were playing I think like a big rivalry match or something like that. And they asked him like, oh, like what's your favorite goal against? I forgot the rival that he just played. And they asked him, what's your favorite goal against them? He's like, oh, the one I'm about to score in the next game. He didn't
Come
score.
on, man. Come on, man. It's my guy right
River.
here.
They played River in the I think Libertadores. Yeah, they're like, oh, what's your favorite goal against River? He's like, oh, the one I'm about to score next, and he didn't score.
think that there's I know well there's a meme of it. Well, not a meme. Well, it became a meme where like he posted a picture on like he was putting his kids to sleep, and this was I believe a couple of years back. And he's like, you put the, and then the caption was like, a dormir mis nenes, que su papá tiene que llevar a Chile al mundial. And they haven't been to the World Cup, I think, in like the past. It's like, man, the kids so the captions like the kids are gonna be 17 when Chile might finally make it to the World Cup.
And this was still gonna be trying to play for them.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right, man.
well,
We'll keep it moving. We
Oof.
got Mario, Super Mario, Balotelli. Why always me? Is he a icon hero or nothing? I don't really have an opinion here because I didn't really watch him play, so I obviously know
This,
who he
this
is.
this is a good one, but I think there's only really one answer here. But I'll let Jose go if you're ready. All right, I could go too.
he's a hero. I'll give him the hero for the two goals he scored against Germany. Um, and he took off that shirt with the trademark celebration. Um, and yeah, I mean, I feel like playing for Inter Milan and Milan just kind of makes you like a Serie A player that's different because not everybody can put up with that pressure of playing for probably one of the like feistiest fan bases in Italy. So he's a hero.
All right, Ariel. What you think?
Yeah, to me, I think he's nothing.
Ooh,
Yeah, he's nothing. I think he's kind of like the Carlos Vela-esque type of story to me. The young promising player and then just completely falls off the face of the earth. And we see moments of brilliance because I think he was a brilliant player. He was what I loved about him watching him was he was so different and not only was he a black player in Italy, which we know like they don't fucking ever convocar any fucking black players, but he kind of broke that line, and he was so different from everybody in the way that he played. He got in people's faces. He fucking like he would fucking get into it with coaches. He had that thing with Man City where he did like that back heel and they subbed him off. Mancini subbed him off. So he was just kind of different, but I think that he's a story of a player that never really reached the heights that he should have reached. You know, I think he definitely could have been at Real Madrid if he would have just played his cards right and if he would have just stayed on track. If somebody could have just put him in those tracks, I think that would have just benefited him. But he didn't want to listen. You
Mm.
know, because there's been plenty of stories of players telling him like, "Yeah, man, we were telling him to like calm the fuck down," but he just wouldn't do it. So to me, unfortunately, I think he's gonna be nothing.
Yeah. All right. Last one. We have Guardado, Andres Guardado. It's
who's
the
set to
icon.
retire at the end of this year.
Yeah, icon hero or nothing. Currently plays for Leon. Icon hero or nothing.
Kind of. He warms up the bench.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of. Goes in the 80th minute.
Taking it easy.
Yeah, definitely.
He's doing more interviews than playing.
Yeah.
I could see him getting a hero card for what he did on his national, like for
Nah, but what do you
Mexico.
think? I don't care what EA thinks. What do you
I
think?
mean, oh no, no, I'm going with hero for
Okay.
for the longevity that he's had with the Mexican national team, and he's also one of the first players that, at least for Mexico, like he paved the way to show other Mexicans that it was like going to Holland to play as your first major break in Europe was kind of the right path because they were going to mold you into a better player. And I think a lot of
I thought he
play
started
not a
in
lot.
Deportivo La Coruña.
He did, but he wasn't. It wasn't that. It wasn't. I mean, it was his first stint. It wasn't successful. But I think he gained the most success, and he even became the captain of PSV. So I think, yeah, I think if you can see our hero card, and I think he did a lot in Holland.
Yeah, I think I'll second that. With a caveat that I think he borderlines an icon card because of the amount of love that I think that his fans have shown him. I think to see that Betis thing, like I was surprised of like how much they really appreciated him, and I think even Mexico fans, he's one of those players where si lo convocan, like no one's really pissed that he's really there. You know, we're kind of more complaining about the other players that are going. Andres Guardado is like, yeah, we'd love to have him in the locker room. I think there's an aspect there, and I think he broke into the scene where we were seeing Mexicans go to Europe, and he's one of the ones that kind of stayed. You know, he was actually able to keep it up. And my only thing is that I feel like he never was able to take the next step. You know, he kind of always stayed at the Betis level teams, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think like I kind of wish he would have been able to make a bigger step. And you know, and I gotta say, and I gotta be honest with you, I feel like Mexican struggle in Spain, and I think he's the one example that I think did. I mean, he probably struggled, but I think he was able to make it work, and for that, I think he is a hero. But I can see why somebody would also say icon, even though I don't feel like his achievements are iconic level. But I think just his aura, I think, kind of says that. I wouldn't be mad if I see icon card for him.
Yeah, that was my take too. I was gonna say he's a hero, but he's definitely teetering on the icon line. Just because one is longevity, playing in Europe. I mean, he was captain of Real Betis, captain of PSV. He won La Copa del Rey with Betis. I mean, yeah, his silverware isn't insane, but he was just a solid player in Europe everywhere he went, and that says a lot, especially for a Mexican player, and especially now, that we see not many Mexican players going to Europe. And yeah, I agree. He was definitely one of the first people to kind of go out there in Europe and actually have some luck. Part of again Mexico's really good golden generation. Um, so yeah, and he's also, fun fact, the most capped player in Mexico. So he has the most caps for Mexico. So there's that too. And that's it. That concludes our game of the week. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Why? And throw out some more names over there so I can get more ideas of who to throw in this icon here or nothing.
But Varane is an icon. Okay.
I mean, hey, you heard the argument, man.
Yeah.
Sickening.
Tell me it doesn't make sense. I mean,
I don't think he's a hero. I don't think he's an icon either. So, and I'm actually a Madrid fan. So.
Sickening.
See,
We're all Madrid fans
the
here.
argument
We're all
worked.
Madrid fans here.
The argument worked.
All right, man. Well, that almost but concludes our episode, minus one last segment, which is our debate segment, our discussion segment of the week. And this week, you know what? I feel like when Ariel busted out this idea, I think he was reminiscing of the play that him and I did last week when when we went to go play. And for those listening, for those watching, it was just a flash of magic that you don't get to see these days anymore. Of just of what a
Two
true
cams uniting.
yeah, of like
Two tens.
what life used to be when we were growing up, and when it's like El Diferente, the guy with the number 10 on the back, was the guy was the guy that made the difference.
Man, get on with the question, man. We just trying to get to the question.
I'm inspired, man.
All right, man.
But you know what?
Right.
To the question, is the 10, is the cam position dying in today's modern football? And I guess to put it on point, or like just to give the thought of it, some teams don't even have a number 10 in their roster. Like I just looked at Arsenal, and it was Smith Rowe, but they don't have a number 10 for this season. And they were gonna give it to Sterling at the start of the season, and Sterling was like, nah, like that's too much pressure for me. Give me number 30. So I was like, good. I'm glad that's a like semi old player that still accepts and acknowledges how important
that position existed.
yeah, that position exists, and that not anybody can wear that number 10. But you know what? I want to hear Irving's point of view on this to start off, and see like what do you think? Because you've entered the world of football and understanding it. I think when this position just isn't there anymore.
I think this question is blasphemous when you think about Piero Quispe, Leo Suarez, Puceto.
Ooh.
I mean, it's blasphemous to think that I mean, you have La Joyita Peruana, man. It was killing it. I don't know. But realistically, I wouldn't say it's dying, or it's a position that's dying. It's just a position that in this day and age isn't as needed as maybe it used to be, or as creative as it now. They're as creative as maybe it once was. There's still tens in the world. Let's not act like there isn't. Jamal Musiala is a really good example. He's a clear 10. He plays in that cam role. Foden, someone who plays out wide but also plays inside.
It's number 47, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
but he plays as a 10.
yeah,
Are we talking about number 10s or playing as a 10?
Look, dude, being a 10 is not only a play style, but it's also, kind of to Sterling's point, to absorb the pressure of being el diferente.
All right. Well, my definition is kind of maybe playing as a 10, maybe not having number 10. If you look at like so for example, if you look at someone like Foden, like Jude Bellingham, these are players that play the 10, but don't always play there. They're versatile, you know. And I feel like in now in the gameplay that or the world of football that we see now, that's what I think coaches appreciate. That's what football is now. Someone that can play different positions, I think, is very like heavy today. You look at Jude Bellingham; he's out playing cam for England and Real Madrid. Now that they have Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Vinicius up top, he's more of a holding midfielder, box to box. Foden again, he can play the 10. He's more out wide now. Kevin De Bruyne is also on that team who plays the 10, but he can also play a box to box. Other people that come up to mind, I don't know. Jamal Musiala, like I said, he's very he can play the cam, he can play the 10, but he also plays out wide. He's played out wide for Germany, so it's not like it's a dying position. It's just I feel like now the way football is played, they want versatility in players, especially in the midfield, and I think that's one of them. Those are some of the that's what it is. I think. Is there players like tens like the first one that comes to mind is like Osil. Is there an Osil? When Isco was around, I considered him a pretty good 10. There's not players like that anymore that just stick to that position and roam around in the midfield, but yeah, I think it's about versatility now. It's about where you can play.
So is it dying?
It's not dying. It's not dying. Like it's more so like maybe getting. I don't know. Like it's just Like people still play the 10. It's just it's all about the versatility you can play. If
Okay,
you switch
But to you,
formations and
what
stuff
is
like
it? What
that.
does it mean to play? Because you keep throwing out play the 10. What do you when you say play the 10? What do you mean?
To me, play the 10 is you're giving the passes out. You're dishing out the ball. You're the connection between the midfielders and the attackers. The strikers, the wingers. That to me is a 10. You know?
And you're saying that still exists.
Yeah, that still exists.
can you name
Hmm.
me a team that plays with a 10 that isn't playing the wing in that lineup?
Jude Bellingham plays a 10. He never goes out on the wing. Jamal Musiala plays 10. They got wingers. They got a good striker. They got defenders lining up behind him.
See, but I've seen the Bayern lineups. Musiala is playing on the left,
Nah, that man's
and
playing cam, bro.
and he
And
goes
FIFA.
inside. Yeah, in
Nah.
FIFA, that's his second position. But I see
See,
left mid.
if you look at someone like Man City, like now they just transition into a three back. They used to play with Kevin De Bruyne as their 10. Now they play Kevin De Bruyne as their box to box midfielder, and have Rodri still playing behind him, and they play with the three back. I think it's just about the versatility in football now.
It's like I also don't think that Bellingham plays the 10 for Madrid. Because
And
they
he's not a 10. He's
and
not a
yeah, and
playmaker.
he's more
Mm,
he's not a playmaker. No, no, I can
mm,
I can second that. And
He's not a
mm.
playmaker in well, go ahead, finish, Jose.
Yeah,
and
finish,
it's
finish.
like I guess to my point of that and to my thoughts with that, it's like nowadays, or at least like if you go, I remember you used to go to soccer.com and all these player jerseys, hero jerseys were always number 10, right? Name the player, Osil, Licotemo, Riquelme, just name a player, Kaká with Brazil,
Messi.
Messi, like they would always have the 10. But I feel like in today's modern football, the kids and what we see played out there, like they want to be a number 7. They want to be a Ronaldo. They want to be a wingback. It's like if you see Madrid, like Madrid doesn't have an attacking midfielder. Why? Because if you see them play, like they play through the wings. It's like the same thing you can say for Arsenal. Martinelli, it's like people want to be Bukayo Saka, cut in inside. So it's like there's no more like to play the 10, to play the cam, it means that the ball runs through the middle. And I feel like in today's modern football, the ball no longer runs through the middle when it comes to attacking and when it comes to chance creation. It always goes through the wings.
I mean,
But
look, dude. Go ahead.
I mean, you can go ahead. Yeah, I'll
What I was gonna say is like, I mean, look, man. Let me just name you a couple of 10s in the history of football. Like, he just named a couple of great players. We're talking about Pelé, Maradona, Messi, Zidane, Ronaldinho. Totti, Cruyff. I mean, we're talking about like not even the engine. I would call them the brain, kind of like the one, you know, they're the ones that are able to see that pass that nobody else can see. And I feel like the only player that I can give you of this modern time that I can see is like has a little bit of that is De Bruyne. Musiala can dribble, but his passing to me sometimes is not there. So to me, I think of a number 10 of a passer that has the vision to see the passes that nobody else can see. And I think that the football today is so predictable that the passes are all the ones we can see. Like people want to be wingers, but in today's time, the winger is not the winger of the days before, of yesteryear. The wingers now go forward and they come back. Like they'll dribble up a little bit. Jack Grealish is an excellent example of that, where he can take on players, but because Man City doesn't want him to do that, he'll cut back and pass it back to his left back or to his center mid or whatever. So to me, it is dying. It's unfortunate. And then I'll finish up here so that we can get out of here on time. But it to me it is dying. I do think I agree with you, Irving. It is because players are being asked to be versatile. But I hope that in the future there will be a mix of versatility mixed with this vision that I think that we're kind of losing out on. I feel like players are not being grown up to have the vision. They're being grown up now to be more predictable in the way that they play, more safe, more statistical, I guess you would say. To have a higher rated of passing. But I mean, like if Cruz would have been having a little bit more speed, I think Cruz is another player that has excellent vision, but he was never really like a 10, right? But if he would have had more speed and more dribbling, I think think that where I can make an argument there. But I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
Hey, you heard it from a 10, folks. From a true 10 right there.
Two of us.
Two of us, yeah. Or not me. Two of them.
Two of us. Hey, three of
Not
us.
me. No. I never touched that position.
It's a lot. It's a lot of pressure, man.
Hey man, props to you guys, man. Y'all hold it down. At Crocker.
At Crocker.
Tuesday,
That's right.
Tuesday
We hold it
nights.
down at Crocker, man.
At Crocker.
Hey, we sold it down and we connected last week.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Is the number 10 a dying position? What is a number 10 to you? Does it have to do with the number? Does it not have to do with the number? Comment down below.
All right, and I think with that, I think we're good, right? We're good to go.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Valderrama, another 10. Jesus Christ.
hey man, and that guy was slow, dude.
Slow. He was slow, dude. My boy was walking out there.
But right here, he was the
It
fastest
was
one.
all
man.
there, dude.
Yeah.
He was
It
the
was
fastest
all
one.
right here, dude.
Sometimes that's all you need, man. Sometimes
Fastest
that's all
one
you
on
need.
the field. But all right,
Yeah.
boys. It was nice talking to you guys. It was a nice episode. We'll be back again in 2 weeks. We have some new topics to talk about. Follow us. We're trying this new format, so now, I don't know, these episodes will be up and content will come out of this. And I don't know, anything
Yeah.
else you guys want to say?
Yeah, make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at strictlyfootball21. Go ahead and keep the conversation going over there. You'll see this clipped up over there eventually. Leave a like, comment, and if you really did enjoy our podcast and if you really do enjoy what we talk about, please subscribe. It doesn't hurt. Just one click. That's all it takes. No subscription, no nothing, no paywall. And yeah, and
Yet.
think nah.
Yeah. And
So
whoever took our name on pro clubs,
shame on you.
shame on you, and just know that we're gonna file a report. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah.
But yeah, thank
But-
you guys for watching. All right, we done
Tuning
here?
in.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
done.
tuning
Thank
in.
you. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you. Adios.
All right, thank you guys. Catch y'all later.